Hello again, 20 minutes past 5 in the evening, Moscow time now. Next, India and Russia are expected to sign a multi-billion-dollar set of weapons deals today with the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a two-day visit in the middle of it, as we speak, in Moscow. Here are some pictures of what's happened over the last day or so, where President Putin and Prime Minister Modi have been discussing the strategic partnership between India and Russia. Earlier, the Russian leader had an informal dinner with the Indian PM at the Kremlin too. Vladimir Putin presented Narendra Modi with two special gifts. One of them was an 18th century sword, the other a page from the handwritten diary of Mahatma Gandhi. Putin once said on record that Gandhi he thought was one of the great minds from history he would like to speak to. So as a present from the heart there. Now, both Putin and Modi are expected to discuss energy cooperation, investment and trade between the countries, but most attention is on a forthcoming defence deal set to be signed after India's government approved it off. The country plans to purchase an estimated $7 billion worth of submarines, frigates and also the S-400 air defence system. And indeed, the arms deal is the latest chapter in Russia and India's long military history. While countries like the US are trying to tap into India's weapons market, Russia remains at the forefront of negotiations. You can see the stats and the spending and how it pans out on the news wall there. I spoke to journalist North Hindol Sengupta on the reasons for them getting along this well.
At the moment, if you really look at the world from India's vantage point, it knows that it has to build several relationships simultaneously and all at the same time. So it will woo in America, which it is, but it will not forget Russia, because Russia is the other big pillar of support it has had for many, many years, and it would be stupid on India's part to let go Russia. So I believe, and many experts here believe, that India will hold on to Vladimir Putin's Russia as steadfastly as it can, even while trying to convince America that it essentially is a great friend and a natural ally of America. What does it mean for India's neighbors? Well, of course, it means that countries like Pakistan will try to deepen their relationships with China. China will try to ring-fence India even more because it sees all these relationships growing, and of course will try to create more trouble wherever it can in India's immediate neighborhood.
Bosnian police arrested 11 people suspected of links with Islamic State. Prosecutors say evidence was uncovered of them financing terrorist activities for ISIL. Several private homes and two places of worship were searched during a raid on Tuesday. And in another part of the Balkan region, a Serbian arms factories confirmed that several weapons used in the Paris terror attacks had been made by their company. Thousands of handguns and assault rifles have been circulating in the black market of the Balkans, with many being smuggled to other parts of Europe. Law enforcement agencies of the countries involved have been trying their best to try to stop the illegal trafficking, with police regularly carrying out raids. On December the 15th, Serbian police broke up an arms smuggling ring and arrested two suspects. They also seized explosives and automatic weapons. A month before that, several drug and arms traffickers were arrested, with authorities saying that they'd been smuggling arms to France.
Now, if you want to look at the source countries where this comes from, the Balkans figure high on the list. Not only for active weapons, but also deactivated or neutralized weapons that are then later on reactivated to be used. It's history, it's plain history. You had the Balkans War, a civil war where weapons got distributed and used. A lot of people kept the weapons. And if you would then need, for example, a bit of money and you have 3 assault rifles in the cellar, to just sell one would be easy. Proportionally, you would find a very, very high proportion compared to the rest of the world of illegal and heavy type illegal firearms, military grade, I would say. If you look at the reality of a Schengen zone where there is no internal borders throughout the EU, when you want to deal with the problem policy-wise, you have to go for European cooperation.
The backstory here: the illegal arms trade flourished in the Balkans since the wars of the 1990s, with French police saying the country's black market's been inundated with the Eastern European arms. Weapons have been seized from the homes of Bosnian Muslims, Serbs and Croats who've held on to them since the conflict back then. Around the world in brief, a fire in a hospital in Saudi Arabia has claimed at least 31 lives. More than 100 people were injured too. That fire broke out in the morning in an intensive care and also in maternity departments. The cause is being investigated. A Palestinian has been shot dead after killing 2 Israelis in the West Bank. The knife attack happened in an Israeli settlement. The 2 stabbing victims were security guards at an industrial complex. Since October, West Bank violence has claimed the lives of 19 Israelis and 126 Palestinians. Bad weather here to deal with. At least 7 people missing and 7 dead, 2 missing rather, after a series of tornadoes in the US. 3 southern states were hit by some 21 twisters. The most powerful one was in Mississippi, where a 7-year-old boy and one other person were found dead in a car that had literally been overturned by that tornado. Check it out News 24/7 if you're not by TV at rt.com. I'm Kevin Owen. Thanks for being with us. Right after the break, Worlds Apart, discussing the issue of preserving historic buildings and the benefits of then repurposing them.